planned pregnancy turned my husband into a monster. It feels like a cruel joke. Years before I met my husband, it was such a toxic, abusive relationship that it almost ended my life. I spent years in therapy bettering myself, figuring out why I accepted that type of love. I stayed single for years, and once I started dating, I made sure to keep an eye on all the red flags. Heck, I even took things slowly when there was nothing but green flags. Thanks to my ex, I was familiar with love bombing. I met my husband at a work event, and things just fell into place. I opened up and explained my past trauma and let him know that if we were going to date, that it would require a slow pace and patience. I won't say that he was perfect, but he was always kind, compassionate, and cared. We dated for about 5 years, engaged for 1 and married for a little over 3 years now. We recently bought our second home together. We both got promotions at work, so we sat down and talked about kids. He wanted a big family, and I only wanted 1 or 2. We agreed on 2 and started trying. It didn't take long, and here I am 6 months pregnant, still working, have swollen ankles, and a back that won't stop aching. Other than that, I've been very happy and have what I thought was a supportive husband. 3 weeks ago, I found out that he was having an emotional affair, and honestly, probably a physical one. When confronted with the evidence, he admitted to not being attracted to me while pregnant. I'm wrecked. I haven't gained unnecessary weight. I still take care of myself, even with the morning sickness that hasn't gone away. He's not sorry about it, but told me that I was being overdramatic when I cried. He's staying with his family until he can find a home to rent. He doesn't want to get a divorce, saying after the pregnancy is over, we can go to therapy and fix things. I don't want to. I cannot physically look this man in the eye anymore without feeling disgust. I have a text from him saying that he's my only option because no man wants to date a single mom. I'll be talking to a lawyer and figuring out how to divorce him. I just wanted to vent into the void today. For now, I'm going to DoorDash some nuggets and a Frosty from Wendy's and be okay if I gain 5 pounds from it. This is why it's so scary for women to get married. I know guys are always like, oh, she's a gold digger, blah, 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 blah. But imagine, right? Her body is going through a biological change because she's carrying a child. And what does he say? I'm not attracted to you during pregnancy. What can you do with that? I've seen so many of these stories where these men just go psychologically insane when their wife gets pregnant. My daughter asked how I met her father, and I don't know how to tell her it was through an arranged marriage. I mean, arranged marriage is not a dirty word. You can just tell her. Unless you had absolutely no say in the situation, then I understand why you would want to tell her, but there's nothing wrong with it. My 36 female husband, 56 male, loves photography. Oh, you're 36. Your daughter's 18. Your husband's 56. You were 18 when your daughter was born. Your husband was 38 when you were born. Most likely you were a minor when you were married. So this sounds a little bit more of a problem, which I see why you have concerns. Okay, sorry, continue. My 36 female husband, 56 male, loves photography and has a lot of photo albums of everything. And our daughter, 18 female, the other day looked at one of them from when I was pregnant with her. And she asked me a question that she had never asked me before. That question was how I met her dad. When I heard her, I froze and didn't know what to say because the day I met him was the worst day of my life. Oh no, trauma. My husband and I got married the same day I turned 18. I met him the day before and it was a horrible experience because I didn't know if he would be an ugly old man or if he would be a good man or a psychopath. It was a blind meeting and it was the worst experience of my life. To this day, I wish I could just forget all the fear I felt before meeting him. I was lucky and he turned out to be the sweetest person I ever met. Thanks to that, we were able to make it work. We fell in love and we created a beautiful family that we are very proud of. But that doesn't mean we like to tell everyone about how we met. So yours is not an arranged marriage. Yours is a forced marriage. When you don't have a say in it, it's forced. Arranged is just arranging 2 couples. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, no harm done. So just to clarify, about 15 years ago, we moved and decided that we would cut off contact with their families and to start from scratch in a new place where no one knows us. None of our friends know about how we met, and we don't want to tell them either. In fact, not even our daughters know because we don't want them to be ashamed or feel negative feeling towards any of us. When my daughter asked me that, I didn't know what to say, and I stayed silent until another photo caught her attention and she started asking me other things. I know that at some point she will ask me again, and I want to give her an answer, but I don't know how. My husband and I never planned on telling them the truth, and we even created a different story to tell them if they asked us how we met. But the moment she asked me, I knew I couldn't lie to her. She has a very idealized image of our marriage. She always says things like she likes to see how affectionate her dad is to me, that she wants to grow up and have a husband like him who gives her flowers every week like he does with me, that she wants a husband who is as good as a dad as he is to her and her sisters, I don't want to tell her the truth and have her think that everything she likes about our marriage is fake because it isn't. I love her dad and he loves me, and it's been that way from the moment we found out I was pregnant with her. But I know that if I tell her that our marriage was arranged, she won't believe that we love each other or even think that her birth was a misfortune, but it wasn't. My husband and I want to know, how can we tell her the truth without making her feel bad? Should we keep sugarcoating the story? You see how fast I was able to calculate the age of when you gave birth to your daughter? Your daughter can do that too. So she assumes that some bad things might have happened. She's not dumb. So I would give her the full story. You want it to come from you and not from anyone else. And yeah, she's an adult. She should be able to take it and let her cope with it. But then I think it'll be fine. Okay. Let me read you guys this comment because, oh my God. If the dad is such a great guy, I do wonder why he was available for marriage at his age when his culture is apparently so gung-ho about shoving 18-year-olds into marriage. Is OP his second or even third wife? If so, what happened to the others? If she's his first wife, then how and why did he stay single so long? And why was he okay marrying a terrified 18-year-old? Even if everything chalks up to a cultural differences, I'd still never be able to look at my dad the same. Ooh, yeah. Especially culturally, no man waits till 38 for their first marriage. Absolutely not. No way. So there's like some fishy stuff going on. So my single mother is pregnant and I'm so angry and upset. And I don't know how to voice this. I, 20 female, am a full-time college student and I live at home. My living at home is largely because my mother has 3 children that are younger than I am and she works a ton. And when she's not working, she's sleeping. So I am essentially their primary caregiver. It is to the point where I watch and take care of my little siblings more than my mom does. And they listen to me more than they do her. I love them more than life itself, but being a caregiver to children I never had is exhausting. Especially since she pays me very, very little for it. And I can't get a job because they'd have nowhere to go if I did. I'm stuck caring for them, but it is worth it because they need a mom figure. My mom has been actively weird lately, so I figured she was pregnant. I found a paper in her bag that confirmed just that, and I have no idea what to do. I cannot take care of another child that I had no say in creating. I can't do it. I'm exhausted and I just can't. She's only been with her boyfriend for a couple of months, and I have no doubt that he'll leave and leave her a single mom again, which will make me have to step up and be a parent. If I have to do it all over again, I want to get a job and leave. Even if I have to juggle a full-time job in college, it seems like the better option. But my mother will likely refuse to get childcare for my little siblings. And my oldest little siblings are too young to have to deal with this. And I can't leave them there alone. I want to voice this to her, and I don't even know what I'm expecting, and I'm terrified that it'll completely shatter my already shaky relationship with my mom. What do I do? She hasn't even announced it to us yet, but I've been sobbing nonstop since I found out. Do I say something? And if so, how do I say it? I'm curious to see how old her younger siblings are. She's 20. They said her mom's 44. Let me read you this comment that I actually really like that you should tell your mom. Mom, I know you're pregnant. I'm not going to tell you what to do with it, but I will tell you with certainty that I will not be helping take care of this one. It's hard enough basically solely raising my other younger siblings, and I won't be taking on any responsibilities that are actually yours. I don't understand these situations too. If you know life is tough, right? And you're already blessed with 3 kids, why in God's name would you bring another child to this world, knowing that you cannot take care of it? Am I wrong for not wanting to share my lottery winnings with my family? So I, 32 male, recently won a significant amount of money from the lottery. We're talking about life-changing money here. I've always been the kind of person who values my independence and self-reliance, and I've worked hard to get where I am today. I've always been financially stable, but this is a whole new level. My family has always been a bit, let's say, financially irresponsible. They've never been good with money, and they've always relied on others to bail them out of their financial troubles. I've helped them out in the past, but it's always been with the understanding that they would try to improve their financial habits. When they found out about my lottery win, they immediately started asking for handouts. They said that it's only fair since we're family and that I have more than enough to share. They've even gone as far as to say that I owe them because they've helped me out in the past, which is not true. I've always been the one helping them. I've tried to explain to them that I want to use this money to secure my future and that I can't just give it away, but they're not listening. They're calling me selfish and ungrateful, and it's starting to cause a lot of tension in the family. I feel like I'm in the right here, but the constant guilt tripping is starting to get to me. Am I the asshole? No. Do you know how many stories you hear about lottery winners blowing through their money because they give it to so much family? I would think if I ever won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anyone, not even my family, and just like, seeing that TikTok trend, if I won the lottery, there would be signs. It'd be like that. It'd be like unsaid gestures. But I probably would tell them I'm full of shit. I don't know.